All right, guys, Scrooge here. So we did it. We hit our mark, so now we're going to see what's inside of that jar. For all you new people, that's my stock pot, and I've been chucking stuff like this into that jar for a couple months now. Couple months. I started putting it in there a little bit before I started making my videos, and then I put it in there slowly every video as much as I could. And I said as soon as we hit our mark that I would empty it out. So here we are, and we're doing it. So, and for all you subscribers, thank you very much. It wouldn't be possible without you. I know I do this stuff, but hey, it would have just sat there and sat there and sat there and filled up and filled up. But now we get to take a chance and we get to see what's in there, and I'm super excited. And then again, always first, safety. You're going to be messing around with stuff like this, and that I'm telling you not to try this. I know it doesn't matter, but I'm telling you not to do this at home. But if you're going to not listen to me, then don't get in trouble and get grounded and not be able to come hang out, because that's not, this shop goes every day. Whether or not you guys come visit, this gold keeps moving. So I hope to continue to see you guys here. I really do. And my wife bought me a mic. I don't know if you've seen my other video, but my wife bought me a little mic down there. And I'm not really sure if I'm yelling into it or not. So let's just kind of see how this goes. Yeah, let's, glasses, guys. You don't want this stuff getting in your eyeballs. You really, really, really don't. You just don't. We're not using any heat or anything like that. We're not doing anything with any of the chemicals at the moment. All we're doing is filtering this out. So safety glasses, an appropriate pair of rubber gloves. Those are going to save your hands. Again, for all you new people, if you get this stuff on you and the heavy metals soak into your skin, you will not get them out. They will stay in your body forever, and over time, that's how you get poisoned by them. So again, even though it doesn't seem like much and you get a little on your hands and you're like, I'll go wash it off. First off, acids don't mix well with water. We know this, and if you don't, I'm here to tell you, acids and water do not mix. Absolutely. So just be safe. Make sure you got precautions. And so we got the safety glasses, we got the gloves, we got distilled water. I'm only using distilled water in this process. I do not want to use tap water because tap water will have the possibility of introducing chlorine into our HCl, and then in turn making a weak form of aqua regia, and then it will melt our gold away. Right now, nothing's happening. We've melted all the base metals out, and I don't know if I can get in there. The lights aren't working really good, but all we've done is melted all the copper and the tin and everything out of here. That's all we've done. The gold is still elemental gold at the moment. It's still there, but again, if we introduce chlorine into this system, then you're going to create a weak form of aqua regia, and then all that tin that's in there from the different various boards and stuff, if there's tin in there, it will turn into this gray, goopy, gross, nasty stuff that will trap your gold, I promise. So I've learned. I've got a couple examples I'm going to pull out in a minute and show you. But please, so use distilled water in this process. I know it kind of sucks, but that's okay. So let's check out what I did wrong last time. Before we start doing this, just take a second and watch. So here's my first experiment. Yeah, that's rough. I started this, and it was my first time, and I created metastatic acid, and I was not able to get the gold out yet. You guys can see it in there. It's trapped. It's trapped in that clump of goo. Yeah. So next time, I was really cautious about what I did, but again, towards the end, when I was messing around with my gold, I introduced some chlorine to my solutions, and I do believe I formed a form of copper nitrate in there and trapped my gold again. So don't do that. Now this is my third experiment before this one, and so I didn't cause any reaction or anything like that, so that was neat. You can see the gold. Now it's just stuck in that conformal coating. But we're going to take care of that because there is a way to get the gold away from the conformal coating really easy peasy and simple. But we'll get to that later. Let's get that gold out of that jar and on our way. So I know you're going to ask yourself, well, how are we going to get those boards out of that acid? How are we going to separate that gold from that acid? Well, check it out. So there's many different ways. People will take this whole jar here. They'll take that whole jar and they'll dump that over a colander, over a bucket, and they'll get all the gold and the coating and everything, and the boards will stay there. And that works. It really does. I've done it. But again, I'm going to try to save this acid because there's a lot of life left in that. You don't want to dilute this down as much as possible. At least I don't. So I'm going to try to avoid introducing as much water as I can. If I can avoid that, my solution stays strong, and we'll go into what we're going to do with that next afterwards. But everybody says, you need this, you need that, you need a lot of stuff. And no, I'm here to tell you, you don't need a lot of stuff in order to do this, as long as you think about it and you do it properly and you do it safely. Everybody spends a lot of money on their vacuum flasks and everything else, and understandably so. They're designed to do that. But if you're not really putting a lot of pressure or you have your own system, this is what I found to work for me. For 12 bucks, which I didn't buy this by the way, but for 12 bucks, this is actually a weed sprayer. You have the sprayer hook off of this side and you have your pumper on the top of it. Well, reverse it. What happens? If you put a suction pump, say this guy, on the end of that, correct, then you can cause a suction and it'll pull right through your filter. And it just so happens, I don't know if you guys noticed the resemblance of this versus that. Yeah, I know. It turns out somehow in this weird universe that this top to this apple juice container actually seals perfectly into this jar. Here, let me see. Let me see if I can. So it screws perfectly into that jar. So screw it down, and there's my vacuum flask. No joke. And you can do a couple different things to it. You can take like a yogurt lid and cut it down nicely and poke some holes in it. It turns it into a Buckner funnel. No joke. So you don't need a lot. But right now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this coffee basket. It's actually made out of plastic. I'm not sure the technical term, but that's okay. I'm actually going to take this basket and I'm just going to set it in there. Done. There's my catch jar. There's my filtration system. Done did. Well, now how are we going to keep all the big boards from coming out of there? Well, I'm glad you asked. So let's set that up and I'll show you how. All right, so we got a little more light on the subject here. And yeah, that's all that gold just sitting there collecting, and it's just doing its thing. So I don't want to drop either one of these phones. So we'll be back